I need to cough. No, I can't. No, because you'll press freaking go. Okay, good.
Hello.
I muted that at the wrong time. I muted it as I unmuted to cough, and then muted it when I stopped coughing. Hey.
Well, I do.
Yeah. Hey. I've got 3 topics and a show and tell if we need space filling.
Oh.
My show and tell has nothing to do with games. I just think it's really funny. I know it did, and I'm really mad. Stop opening when I do stupid stuff.
This is why I'm suggesting other openings.
Yeah, I know.
Time to cough.
We should have a countdown.
Boom, 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 boom. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-boo.
Oh, John, you're muted to the stream. Richard said you're muted to the stream.
Uh-oh.
I can fix
Technical issues. What's that?
There we go. Once again, a fucking streaming platform not realizing that it should be on the thing that it's not on.
That means the intro till now is just me talking to myself because I was talking to you.
Me, like, interjecting.
That sounds good.
Great.
Yay! I'll do that again. Welcome to another Misadventure Cast.
Can we just turn it off and start again and delete that one?
No.
We have
Delete VOD.
mistakes now.
Just delete that video.
No. We'll keep it up because I like to keep our mistakes in.
I don't.
It shows growth for the time that we don't make any.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I don't change. Just shows me being stupid.
So we were in a little call before for about 30-40 minutes, and I don't know if you guys noticed there was something that I wasn't doing that I'm usually doing.
Dealing
Drinking.
Oh,
with the cat.
vaping.
Oh.
Ding ding ding.
I said drinking.
Oh.
You've stopped.
Drink.
I have not.
Done the chunky vape.
Oh, you've gone real
Your
quiet.
mic's gone really weird.
Cable unplugged.
Nice. Love
yeah,
it.
so
tactic.
almost a week. Which
Okay,
believe me,
okay, right.
believe me that yesterday after the cat destroyed my Lego Millennium Falcon, that was nearly a turning point. Because that was some fucking rage-inducing shit. But yeah, I've been off it since probably Friday, I think. Resisting temptation. Starting to feel a little bit healthier, I guess. My breathing's a lot better. I know that it was particularly bad in the first place, but yeah, it's gone. It's also saving me £60 a month. So
Understandably.
That's a big plus.
That's a very much so.
a lot of people sometimes, you tell somebody about health benefits of not smoking anymore, and sometimes you're better just to go like, yo, you're gonna save yourself.
By the way,
money.
Isn't there that
you could
app?
afford this.
Yeah, there's an app that means you can track it.
Oh, I
and
know
it
how
can
much
tell
I
you
spend.
yeah.
I reckon I'm like near
there's
enough
also an app.
70 or 80 quid a month because of the coils, and then I'm like 20 quid a week on fluids for the tank. So
Vape juice.
I've also
Vape juice.
so this has been a week of me learning to find a ways to save money because I've been off sick for 2 weeks, so that's sick pay, which is not good. Statutory sick pay is kind of shit in the UK. It's £94 a week at its maximum.
Oof.
Yep, it's
Yeah,
awful.
that's pretty rough.
Oh, that tastes bitter.
Yep. So that's going to be a phone call to the council being like, my rent might be a bit short. But
I don't like that.
I did.
No.
No, they do if you tell them ahead of time. They'll just be like, oh, we'll take this month's rent and we'll just split it across the next 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So that you don't have to pay it all in one thing.
You have to die.
Basically, as long
Yeah.
as they know about it, they're pretty much they're decent with it. But
Oh, that's good to hear.
I also
That's
got
good
an
to-
email from Sky being like, "Yo, you're out of contract. Why don't you renew and get this?" And I was like, "No."
How about no?
Because I had the guys are in the building right now, not like right now, but they have been in the building as I found out at 9 o'clock when they were drilling through brick. The guys from City Fibre are in fitting the gigabit lines right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh yeah.
they were meant to be middle of the month, but they started on Friday. So
A good thing, I guess.
yes.
Sure.
So then I decided I'd be like, all right, let's go have a look at Vodafone because they're the ones that are going to have the contract for the lines for the first 2 years. So it's going to be about 2 or 3 months before the gigabit lines are active. But my current Sky package is £45 a month. I just got the same speed from Vodafone with a free upgrade when the gigabit lines go active for £27 a month. So I've just halved my
That's how the
internet
hook
bill.
can become. Yeah.
And when the gigabit line comes out, I'm going to go for the 500 meg connection because I think 900 is kind of overkill at the moment. It's not really necessary, and it only goes up £1.
Nice.
Which is ridiculous.
That's quite the benefit.
So it's £27 a month for a 70 meg connection, and their estimated price right now for a gigabit connection is 28 at 500 meg a sec.
Very good.
So, sure, I'll take that. So as of the 4th of November, get my new internet in. Hopefully be the same speed. Vodafone do offer a thing though where you get money off your bill until your speed is consistent at what they've promised. So
It's good that they got those systems in place as well.
yeah, so
'Cause-
it's a lot of noise in the building right now because it's people drilling through brick and you can hear them 5 floors down because they're drilling straight into
Jeez.
brick.
Oh yeah, and sound travels quite a distance when it's
Especially
solid.
through
Yeah.
But it should be worth it. They haven't started digging up the streets or that yet. So, but the person I spoke to was like, "Yeah, be about 2 or 3 months. We'll be in touch, but you'll be able to upgrade for free." And I was like,
Awesome.
"Yes, please.
Taking it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Give me all fast. Zoom internet. Zoom. I want to download 80 gig in 3 seconds, please. Thank you. That would
Jesus.
be nice." Yeah, so I've also started physio, so obviously I've been off for 2 weeks, so I'm in a lot of pain right now because my physiotherapy is basically the main bit of physio I have to do. So what's happened is over the number of years, and this is a lesson to you all, anybody watching that has sat at a computer and played games and not moved for hours on end, this is a lesson for you all. Don't do
Move.
that. That's stupid. Because what
Move.
happens is after a while, you get problems with posture and balance and bits of your body that are supposed to move don't, and bits that your body that move, they start moving too much. So what's happening is my shoulders in here, it's too loose. Okay, so like this is hypermobility. It's too loose. My back of my
Lord.
spine between my shoulder blades, it's too tight. Doesn't move at all. So the reason why I feel like something rips is because there's a muscle that's incredibly stiff here that's attached to a muscle that's incredibly loose here, and then
Goodness.
you just go like this.
Eee.
So
Mm.
what I have to do is, and if this goes up to an audio only format, I twisted my hands in opposite directions. What I have to do is roll up a dishcloth, so it's like that thick.
Ow.
Lie with my head propped up on a pillow on something solid underneath me. My mattress is too soft, so I got to do it on the floor, and then I put that from like the base of my neck, that pillow folded up, so that it pushes my
So it's
spine
weight.
out, and my shoulders down. It's fucking killing me. Spine is in so much pain, but I feel better
Understandably.
because like my spine hadn't like clicked or moved properly for like months.
Oh,
And
goodness.
I did it on Monday or Tuesday, and then I sat up the next morning and just heard, and it was everything just loosening off and moving around. I was like, oh, that was a sore one. I haven't had a very interesting. That's kind of been it. I've been dealing with my pain and my internet and not smoking.
Chaos.
I started. I've got one mission left to finish on the first one of Fire Emblem. I feel betrayed.
Ooh.
I'm just all I'm going to say about that game is I feel betrayed because
Why?
story reasons. I feel betrayed.
Okay.
Oh,
There,
tell us.
there are many diverging paths. It's pretty insane, and if you're not paying attention, obviously it's different the second time round because you've kind of already figured that one out. But if you're not paying attention, you kind of don't see the twists coming, and then when it happens, you go, I really should have known that because it kind of makes sense. You just kind of feel betrayed because there's like all this shit going on, and I don't want to give anything away, even though it's been out for a while now. But just if you take the Black Eagle house, it's gonna hurt. That's all I'm gonna say. It's gonna hurt. You're gonna get stabbed and you stabbed
Stabbed
in
and
the
you're
heart.
stabbed. Stabbed and you're stabbed.
Stabbed
Trail
and
is
you're
real.
And stabbed
Not
again.
There are 2 other houses in the game, and then within the Black Eagle house, there's I think 2 or 3 other diverging paths that all lead to different things. Whether or not I have the energy to bother with that is a different story. I may just do the end, and then like that's 40 hours of that game, and I've finished a Fire Emblem for the first time in my life. I've also been vegging out on Destiny. Like that game's pulled me back in since it went on Steam. It's substantially better because they don't.
Vegetables are good for you.
They don't.
What, sir?
Did I miss something?
Do you care to explain yourself?
So you've been vegging out and saying vegetables are good for you, supporting your actions.
You're fired.
Okay.
You can't fire someone you don't pay.
You can dismiss them though.
Yeah, we're not friends anymore. You can
He's
disown
gone.
him.
There you go. It's just that's it. Done.
Keep him out cool then.
Anyway, so I've been playing Destiny. You can tell that there's no longer a publisher involved telling them what to do. I don't. You've been playing it as well, Matt. Recently.
You can
But
very
you
much
can
tell,
tell
that,
that Activision are not there, and that like basically everything that's purchasable with real money in the game is hidden away in a tiny little menu.
Which I'm thankful for because that means I don't have to cry every time I look at the silver prices.
Yeah. So just as well, you can tell that they've got back to being Bungie. Like they took Activision's money to make the game that they wanted to make, but then they weren't allowed to make that game, and you can tell now that's what they've done. However, what I will say is, I said to Richard, I was playing this with Richard, and I said to him on that night, I was like, I wonder how long it's going to take for the fan base to realize that they've just remade Taken King.
I haven't played it, so I couldn't care.
Well, that's kind of the feeling I got from Shadowkeep was like, because you do a lot of the same stuff you did in Taken King, and I'm like, did they just go Taken King but better? Like,
I mean,
because from what I've heard from people that have played the game itself, or played the original Destiny, because that's quite a lot of my mates. They have changed it a decent amount to make it separate, distinct between the two. Obviously I don't own Shadowkeep right now because I'm poor, so I can't say. And
you run the same dungeons with the same bosses, but with different enemies. That's the thing, and that's like, I don't have a great knowledge of Destiny 1 because I didn't play a lot of it. But Destiny 2,
but that's what you did play.
I did play the Taken King, and I felt like I've seen this before. I've done all this before.
Fair. No, I've got mates who put countless hours into D1 and said that there's enough in it that makes it distinct as opposed to that, because that whole thing of it was similar to Taken King was brought up with us. They consistently said there's enough in there that makes it distinct between the two, and it isn't just a rehash.
But do you not think though, like other games have done that, and they've not got away with it?
Of course.
But what's so special about Destiny? You know, they just, we'll just rehash content, but we'll get away with it. I think more people. Do you know what I think is? I think more people are pissed off with how that ended than than the actual content itself, because it is very much and it's done. There's no credits. There's nothing. It doesn't signify that it's done. It just here's a weird cliffhanger and then nothing. So you are kind of getting fed more story throughout the weeks because you get these memories that you have to go do each week. So
similar with Forsaken, like once you did the campaign of Forsaken, if you did it in the first day, if you complete the campaign in the first day, there was still so much that was being released gradually in the weeks with the resets.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird ending, and I don't know if the path that these memories are taking you down is going to be part of it. I haven't done the raid, but it's a Vex raid, and you're fighting the Hive, so I don't think it's connected.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, we'll find out. Vex Offensive's quite fun. You should be able to do the Vex Offensive, Matt.
Isn't it on the moon though?
You can go to the moon.
I can't go to the moon.
All destinations are open. Just content.
I haven't tried.
Just story
I haven't
content.
tried going to the moon. Basically,
story content is locked out, but you can go to the moon.
I'll load up later after the podcast and try.
Yeah, you can definitely go to the moon.
I haven't tried.
Matt does things after the podcast?
You can, so do I.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
He goes
because
to bed.
No, just you and Bob go to bed. You're the ones that are like.
Remember this? I'm 18 still, so
I'm
you have
27 and
past 9 o'clock.
don't care. So I'm 27 and insomniac. So there you go.
Fair.
I think that's me really. Whoever wants to go next, take your turn. I've not really got much else to say.
I can go next.
Building
It
on
always
Destiny.
makes me happy when we go like that because because John's top left and then Bob's top right. And it just
So we're
goes
going
round in a little circle. It doesn't match the podcast though.
It still works because Bob's above me and Matt would be next.
Yeah, Matt, you've got to go next then.
But yeah, like building on from Destiny, from that, playing the system now because they have, like quite a lot of Destiny itself has changed in terms of weeklies and
armor
how
system
loot
and
is
stuff
distributed,
like that
as well as that, because Armor 2.0 is now
got like fucking
a bigger
10,
thing.
10, 12 weekly things to do now, whereas when the game first launched there was 5.
There was, that also factors in with the new stuff that's been released as well. So like Gambit, Black Armory.
Yeah, so you've got win so many Gambit matches, both Gambit Prime and normal Gambit. Then you've got Crucibles. You've got 2 separate Crucible playlists that you can win tier 1 or tier 2 gear 1. You've got Strikes and the Nightfall, and then you've got basically complete the Nightfall and then complete the Nightfall at a high enough level that you get 100,000 points throughout your team. So you get Pinnacle gear for doing that. You get Pinnacle gear for finishing a raid. Pinnacle gear is like the highest possible tier gear. You can't get any better than that, and you need Pinnacle gear to max out your thing.
Powerful gear, yeah.
So you get powerful gear. You get tier 1, tier 2.
With a name like Pinnacle, it does sound like you're supposed to be top of the game.
It's quite hard to obtain as well, when it's normally quite a substantial jump in power. So I'm going to
because the soft lock and the hard lock are pretty distinct.
Yeah, so you've got like a soft cap of 900 in current Destiny, and then it maxes out at 960. But with certain weapons, I think you can go up to 1,000 cap, I believe.
That's news to me.
Certain gear, I think it's the Pinnacle stuff, and if you only get, they did some sort of event where it gave you gear that was the only way of getting to a certain power level, and I can't remember what it was. Maybe it's already passed and now it doesn't matter, but the Festival of the Lost is coming up soon as well, which is a Halloween thing. I've already kind of started that off because you get a mask and stuff. Unless mine is left over from last year and that was the last time I played Destiny 2, which probably wouldn't surprise me.
I still have mine. It's a mask of the old Engram dude, isn't it? Yeah. It was good fun.
It's way better now. Because it definitely feels like a game. It feels like a properly. It's not just we're just going to be chasing arbitrary stats. There's all of your individual stats are there now. So it's not just you're running off of 3 things that don't make a fucking difference. There's like 7 different stats, and your armor does different things, and then you. I still
haven't got my head around that still yet.
energy types, and it's all like of all your. You want all of your energy types to match up with your subclass power, which is like for me is arc. So it does mean that there's a bit more of an arbitrary grind involved there, because if you want a specific set of armor and you need it all to match, you might have to go grind that armor 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
But in most cases, if it's event-based armor, you can get it really easy.
Yeah, definitely. Because they drop more consistently.
The Vex Offensive, man. You finish a Vex Offensive, and you get like 7 fucking drops. You'll get 3 weapons and 2 bits of armor. It might not work for you, but you'll get that event-based stuff. The drops are much better. It's just not guaranteed to be stronger. Mods, armor mods, and all sorts of fucking weird shit are in the game now. So it's kind of like I'm starting to learn all that stuff now to give myself that edge, because I'm hitting that wall where it's like, right, this is starting to get kind of tough, and I'm going to need to start like thinking about playing Crucible more and whatever else. So that's when stuff like faster aim down sights and reload speeds and stuff like that all start being handy.
They add up.
Yeah. So it's always negligible unless you've got like a stackable mod, and then it starts to make a difference. But the energy system, putting points into that is how you master work now. So like if you inspect your armor and you level that up and cap it, that's how you master work in the game now. So but you need those prisms, and they are incredibly rare. A pain in the ass to get.
I still haven't hit soft cap yet, so I'm still.
I hit soft cap about 4 hours after it came out. So
shit, what were you doing?
Story. I just played the story. I just played Shadowkeep.
Oh yeah. So, just I haven't been. But all I've done is play strikes and nightfalls, and
yeah, it's not going to give you a hell of a lot, you know.
Like, it's very slow, especially since I'm using 750. I'm still using 750 light stuff, which doesn't help because I'm not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
But I'm using that for quest progress, because some of the seasonal stuff require you to use a certain weapon, and I like using that weapon because one, it's masterworked, so I get stat bonuses, stat track on them.
There are some very, very nice new guns in Shadowkeep. There's a hand cannon that at 916, I think mine is sitting at right now. I can hit an acolyte for 22k damage in the head. It's nuts. You can 2-shot.
It's a hand cannon.
You can 2-shot another guardian in Crucible if you hit them right. Just
Jesus.
They'll kill them. It's gonna get nerfed, 100%.
Yep.
It's not.
That sounds a bit OP.
It does have quite a slow fire rate, and its reload speed is terrible, but it does a hell of a lot of damage.
So you've got to hit things.
Yes, which I'm not good at. There's also an auto rifle called Misfit. And Misfit,
this has been off for ages.
Not Misfit. What is it called? It's an arc. It's an arc assault rifle that you get on the moon, and it's ridiculous. It's 0 recoil.
Most guns don't have any recoil. What do you mean?
Zero. Absolutely fucking doesn't nudge an inch. Doesn't move. And it just shreds health. It's ridiculous how fast this thing fires. I have a non-arc version of it right now, but it's shit. Anyway.
Sounds good for me to look forward to as well, definitely, because I've still, as I said, I've still yet to get Shadowkeep. Hopefully getting it in the coming, hopefully within the month, if everything goes right, because I'm skint as hell right now. Mainly because of the PC upgrade, which I'm hopefully going to get soon.
Well, we will.
Oh yeah, specs.
We'll come round to that, Bob.
Yes.
We kind of.
Yeah, kind of just
returned back to Destiny.
Your turn.
Are you sure?
Well, start talking.
No, let's talk about Destiny.
Okay. Yes. So
anyway, my topics are.
Yeah, and the other thing about Destiny.
Okay, I'm good. I'll be good.
Feeling a bit picked on.
Well, it's not me.
That can change.
I have some things to share.
Is it show and tell?
Kind of, actually.
We should do a show and tell podcast. Oh yeah, you do.
I do have pictures because I've been away on holiday.
Everybody gets for show and tell.
I'd like to point out that my show and tell will win above all else because that's a piece of the Avengers set, and that means I win.
That doesn't mean you win because you also have a cat and you didn't pick the cat, so you lose.
That's more important to me than the cat.
Oh,
I want to quit the
That's fighting
podcast. I'm
talk.
handing in my notice. We
Well,
don't have
I've
a
been
contract,
fired,
so in fact, I'm
so-
leaving now.
that's half the podcast
Wait,
staff.
if I leave right now, I'll completely mess up his overlays. Actually, I won't, because we're not actually in boxes anymore, are we? Ah, damn it.
Nah.
He'll just put one of you in the middle like he did with me when Matt wasn't here.
Basically, there's a
Yep.
3-player setup, so it's called 3.
Oh, you got it. You got
Okay,
it sorted out.
let's have a full protest walkout. All of us in the leave. Okay, sorry, Bob. Yes.
Let the man fucking speak.
Right, I'm gonna chuck some pictures into the Discord.
Oh God, here we
If
go.
John, you could bring them up.
Nope. There we go.
Yep, they're coming through now.
This may be tricky.
Why?
That's why.
Goodness.
Hold on. There we go.
We need a buffering screen. We really need a buffering screen.
My brain has a buffering screen because I spend all my time buffering.
Yeah.
There you go. Ignore the shit
Right.
on
Ooh, pretty.
Yeah, so I was
Whoa.
in
I realised I
Tenerife
can look
for
at
a
these
week.
on Discord. Discord.
That went wrong. There we go. That's the one I wanted.
What is going on?
I'm,
Right,
press-
Hey.
I'm pressing buttons, okay?
He's definitely got the
Sweet.
right first picture.
Yep. So I was on holiday,
Where did you go?
and Tenerife
Ah, lovely.
for the third time. And
Sorry.
this picture is from near the top of Mount Tahiti, as is that one. Yeah, I actually only took 3 pictures. So that's above the clouds. There was a sunset before we went stargazing, and then I snapped that picture
That
of some
is a-
parrots flying at me.
That is a good picture of parrots.
That's incredible, yeah. Could
Yep.
have been aimed just slightly upwards. So you catch the
And I
top
was
one.
trying, but I was a bit too slow on the click.
What camera did you use on your phone, or?
Just my phone, yeah.
Yeah,
The
hold
Nexus
hold
6P
hold the
camera.
shutter, hold the shutter down.
Yeah, I should have put it onto the fast shutter where it takes multiple pictures for one set.
You
so
could
I
just hold it. You could just hold it down anyway. It should work.
Works
I
on
don't
mine,
think
yeah.
it does it that way.
Yeah,
Depends on the phone, I think.
quite a lot of them do nowadays. Anyway,
Yeah.
at the very least. So I
I mean,
don't
it's
know.
the standard Android camera app I was using, so I maybe could have done it.
Yeah, it should be.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun. I was in a bus crash. That was good.
Oh Jesus!
Oh, is this what you were talking about before?
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, turns out buses have a wider turning circle than cars, as one person found out, and they crashed right inside the bus we were on. So that was smart of them.
So that was the car's fault.
Oh yeah, they were trying to overtake the bus
Oh,
whilst going
goodness.
round a roundabout.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Stupid.
that's a very rookie mistake.
And then all of a sudden we just hear crunch.
Yeah.
Big struggle for a moment. The bus driver shouts out his window for a few minutes, and then we drive off again. I was like, "Oh, okay, that was random."
That's quite an
Um,
Well,
event.
clearly the bus wasn't too damaged.
That's quite an
I don't
occurrence.
think so. I think it did more damage to the car because buses tend to be
They're
almost
quite
like
robust.
tanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, robust. I like it.
I love how Rich was telling me to get it together. Like he's never watched the show.
Yeah,
Like,
Richard just believes in what we could become.
come on. Man. Like,
yeah. He's got faith.
I think you're
Believes
asking
in
too
our-
much.
Gotta have faith, the faith, the faith.
So
Let's do karaoke. I'm kidding.
Let's never do karaoke.
Let's definitely do karaoke. John's really against it.
I also have like the most amazing T-shirt.
He does have the most amazing.
That's a very nice t-shirt.
He definitely wins the t-shirt
Very
contest
stoned-looking
this week.
capybara.
Yeah.
They
Just a
do look
capybara.
like. Yeah, they just have stoner look about them. They are pretty chill creatures, to be honest.
Radiate peace.
But
Yeah.
Matt also has a very cool dog calendar.
He does.
We're competing with the animals here today.
Now you need to like do something with behind you because it's just white wall and a light switch.
Oh, touch it.
A brightener switch.
I like my Switch. Would you like more of the Switch in the photo?
I prefer the Nintendo Switch, to be honest.
I just
Okay.
no. You
How
look at
interesting.
everybody else's background, and like Bob's got all his magic cards and stuff in boxes and stuff on his shelf, and Matt's got his posters and his calendar and his bed. I've got whatever the fuck that unit is in my pictures. And then you've just got Nellie's white wall.
I used to have a plain black background, which I
Yeah.
was considering bringing back.
I'd
but
like to point out this is very temporary. I mean, it was meant to be. I mean, it's been a lot less temporary than it was supposed to be. It's only till the end of this month. And then I have no idea where I'm living because I've never been there. Like, with this place.
Excellent.
I'm just going to work one day and coming back to a different home.
Sweet.
Great.
Carry on.
John, it's called minimalism, as Richard puts it.
Is
Get
it?
with it. Get with the times.
Wait, hang on. Oh,
Yeah, so
okay, I didn't break it.
in actual some news that I feel is worth discussing,
Yes.
the thing I have been like containing inside myself for so long, all the excitement, all the energy, the emotion that's been bottled up has just been deflated by some announcement.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, that's a nice screenshot. And that is that-
Give it a second. Give it a second. Nelly,
What's going on?
check the screenshots.
Wait.
Check Discord chat.
I'm stunning. Honestly, I'm such a beautiful human being.
I had to catch that
Goddess.
quickly, but luckily when you like Windows Shift S, it pauses the screen. So
Nice.
Goddess in human form right here, clearly.
Anyway, Bob,
Tech
you were
is
saying.
goddess.
I'm getting bored of this.
Yeah, Bethesda and id announced that they're delaying Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
I was,
Do you know what I think
I'm not
is-
mad
You're,
for the.
yeah, you're sad but happy.
I think the most disappointing
Yeah.
part is they wait until like nearly the middle of October.
Yeah, it's kind of short notice, but then that's not uncommon for
It's
delays.
not, but you would kind of hope that maybe like start of September, maybe the middle of September,
Yeah.
they would go like, yeah, okay. But then you've got people because it was like early November it was coming out, and then they're suddenly like, yeah, no.
No, it was 22nd.
Was
It's
it?
near the
Right,
end.
okay. But either way, you're still like, really, it's like a fucking month away, and now you're gonna go, oh nope, we're gonna put it back another fucking what, 5 months? So
To March 20th is
Yeah.
the official date at the
4 or
moment.
5 months.
So 4 months, I
Yeah.
think.
4 months. So
Yeah, 11.
Should be, yeah.
Yeah, it's 4 months. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was a bit kind of like, my doom, my doom. But hey, when I read into the reasons for the delays, it actually makes a lot of sense. It's for the speed of the game, polish on it, making sure that features are in place. Also means they can release on more platforms at the same time. I think
It's
was
a
one of the
staggered
other
release.
parts.
Switch is
No?
Switch is being delayed. Everything else is releasing at the same time.
Oh right, okay.
Switch will be after the multiplayer invasion thing is going to be post-release free content.
Yeah.
Which is disappointing for me because I was looking forward to showing up as a cyber demon in Bob's game and she'd be like, "Fuck you."
You know it's optional. I can
Yeah,
just
I
say
know,
no.
but I would eventually be able to convince you to opt into it, and then you would just never know when
And
it
it
was
would
going
be
to happen.
fine.
Just be random.
Yeah,
Just boo.
just boo player, and then I would never actually complete the game at that point because shit at PvP.
You know when you're really stressed about someone pulling a prank on you, it'd be like that. Like you'd just
Yeah.
always be worried about it, and John would just leave it and leave it and leave it until the worst possible.
Do you know the thing
moment.
is though? It
You
would
wait
have
till the
been
final boss
unheard
fight.
of for me to just never do it. Like I'm sure we
Sounds
talked about
stressing.
this
Stressing
on
the
the
whole
cast
time.
before about that game of Magic. That
Oh, yeah.
specific game of Magic that Bob will remember, where
Hmm.
for 25 minutes, I think I remember rightly,
Oh no.
I had Bob thinking I had this like move and I was waiting on him doing something. I had 2 cards in my hand. They were both lands. I had him thinking I had some big stupid move and I was waiting on him doing stuff because I got all this untapped mana and all this stuff, and he thought I had something and he wouldn't take the kill shot despite the fact that he would have quite confidently made it past anything that I would have had anyway. But I just went, but I've got this card, Bob. And he just never did it.
It worked.
The psychological impact of that.
Mm.
That's traumatizing.
That's the thing. It's a reasonably valid tactic, is using psychology.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's fine if
Yeah,
you're
it's
just
like
playing a game with your
poker.
friends, but you can't really do that in like a tournament setting.
Oh
but-
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But
That's a
if you're
game,
just
yeah.
sitting with your
because
mate,
they'll see
it's,
through you.
yeah, it's fun. You're just like, I've got this thing, and I just sat there and I just had that look on my face of like, you should know I'm lying to you, but I'm gonna have fun until you realize. Like, just but you need to watch out, man. Oh, got this. Like, that was it's just I would just be like, maybe today's the day I'm gonna invade you. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it's gonna be tomorrow.
The moral of the story is that John is a troll.
And a bit of an asshole.
I do the same though. Misdirection. Remember some of our early games of StarCraft together, where I would just like move my base off somewhere random, so you'd attack and like there'd be no defense.
Yeah, you
You're
just
"Where
like
the fuck
fucking
are you?"
move a HQ to some random fucking corner of the map. And I'm like, I should have won this.
Why have I not won
Why
yet?
am I not seeing a game over screen? Like,
And then a bunch of banelings rush in from behind.
and everything's dead. Which is why we don't play against each other anymore.
Yep. It's
Because you lose.
one of the few games I do beat you at.
Yeah, not much else though. To be fair, you could
We should-
probably beat me at Rainbow Six. And,
Yes, I was.
Well, you can find
ahead.
out.
Oh yeah, we're going to be
Because
doing
there's
the
a
tournament soon.
competition.
Yes, I will talk about that in a bit. Go like,
Will I be competing though? Because I'll stomp.
Yeah.
You think? You think you will, Matt? But people, they play a lot of that game, and
People play
I
unpredictably.
used to
Yes.
play a lot of it.
And
I'm
if
probably out
Bob
of touch now.
is given the time to sit and practice,
Mm.
oh buddy, oh buddy.
There's also
have
strats
to
that I
win
can't
now,
pull
man.
off. There's also strats that I can't pull off with just me as well. So pain.
Yeah. You're gonna have to rely on just yourself. See, I spent a lot of time on realistic difficulty, just me, against all those bots.
That's Tihan though.
Died a lot,
Doesn't
but it was
matter.
good fun.
Doesn't matter. They'll still take you out in one fucking shot.
Mm.
Yep.
So it's, but then it comes down to like ability usage and stuff, and it's also going to be weird because it's not going to be like your typical 5v5 either, because I don't think there's enough people involved. But I
So it
will
might be once.
I will talk more about that later because there's other stuff to do
Later
with
date,
it.
yeah.
Anyway, Bob, what else you got?
Now this is less gaming related, but it's a bit of news that piqued my interests.
I feel like the nerd button needs to come out for what this is because I know.
Oh yes, you're gonna need a bigger nerf button, to be honest.
Hang on,
Like-
where's my chat with Owen?
So, raise your hand if you're a Linux user. In the comments
Oh.
too, please.
Assume that Richard is raising his hand because I'd imagine he would be.
Yeah. I'm just watching the comments, see if anyone does anything.
I think it's just
I mean, we've got 7 folk
Oh,
in chat.
there we go.
yeah, but some people just have it in the background.
I've
not
been
the current-
trying to get into Linux, but then I was just like, nah, I'd rather just do the front end stuff.
It's fun. Linux is great.
Yeah, but I'd rather not die, thanks.
You won't die.
We're not doing dramatic at all today.
You'll be reborn.
He's 18. He'll stop being dramatic when he turns 21.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
So yeah, some news.
I'm
that
23. I'm still
got
pretty
my
dramatic.
interest was
Oh, that was pathetic.
Linux kernel is getting some serious security updates, nicknamed Lockdown. So for those,
Better.
so a lot of hacks that you hear about companies being breached and data being leaked and all of that, and I'm going to keep this reasonably non-technical for the non-nerds.
Perfect. Stop it.
They take advantage of a thing called privilege escalation, where they basically manage to break into your admin accounts.
Mm.
Oh, no nerd button. And
We don't know what's going on anymore.
Chaos
And
and
yeah,
despair.
they've found a way with the Linux kernel to actually stop these from being as easy to do.
Okay.
Because basically, if with Linux, if you get root access, that's basically like being a god in the server. That you could do everything and anything.
Yeah, you can get
and
access to
this-
everything.
Yeah, literally memory, anything and everything. You can even rewrite the kernel while it's that's a bad thing, by the way.
much so.
You don't want to do that. Stuff will explode. But you can theoretically do all these things, but with the lockdown security stuff, it's like even if you've got root access, things like the kernel and there's protected memory and stuff like that now will be enabled, so you can't just screw with shit while it's running. And I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, a slightly safer future.
Slightly.
It's going in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thought process behind it.
We're going up in the world, people.
Yeah. So I'll be playing around with that when it launches. I think it comes out early next year is when they're officially doing it.
That's the last one. That's the last one.
With an extra one on the end.
I'm hoping I didn't bamboozle too many people with technical computing talk.
That made plenty of sense.
Long and short of it is, in about 100 years, the banks will catch up and you'll have safer internet banking.
Hopefully.
I've encountered a couple of people at work, like elderly people, who don't have cards and stuff because they're so scared of like
Yeah, it still
banks
exists.
now.
It still exists.
Yeah.
It's still like
Yeah.
even
It's very
even though it's been a
awkward.
while, it's like stuff technology like that's been out for so long, yet people
Yeah.
still
I
are
mean,
afraid, even
I
though
do-
they're
Because
I do digital banking through my phone, and it's all like locked to my thumbprint and stuff. So,
It's
Yeah.
very awkward in a vet's though, because people's vet bills are always much higher than they think they're gonna be. And telling some poor little granny that the 40 quid she took out doesn't even cover the fact that she saw the vet is a very awkward conversation to have with
Liv.
elderly grannies, where you're like, so that's £160, and they're like, I've only got 40, and you're like, oh, look, see the vet, it's 45. I'm really sorry. Could you go get more? Because then they can't. It's not even like it's like everything's ATM based. Everything's around having a card, so they've got to go into like town. They've got to get like 2 buses to get to a bank now, to get the cash out, and you're just like, okay, please come back tomorrow. like, and then I have to
We will
explain to
all
my
be
head nurse
releasing
why
your
somebody
cat.
walked out with a £160 bill outstanding, and I'm like, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
like, it's still quite a thing, but it's probably not going to be much longer. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Everyone always
Yeah.
tries and taps as well. The amount of people who forget their pins now that contactless is a thing. The number of people who don't know their pin numbers.
I had to use my
I-
credit card for the
Huge
first time in ages the other day, and I was like, PIN number? Because it's
What
just
are
been sitting in a
those?
drawer for like a month and a half, and I was like, I need to pay for this thing that, and I can't remember, and then it's like all I know now that I have it down to 2 numbers, and it's just a case of if it's not that one, it's the other one. It's the same combination of numbers. It's just fucking I've got 2 the wrong way around.
Yeah, I kind of got into the habit of every once in a while just going to the ATM and just checking my balance. So it forces me to use my PIN just to help keep that number rattling around in my head.
Well, there is
And it's sort
there
of-
is a thing though where you're only allowed a certain amount of contactless transactions before you have
Yeah,
to
before
use
you
a chip and
have
pin. So it stops people getting in that way.
I got my contactless really
Big numbers
late.
too
Like, I only got contactless a couple of months ago. So
I don't even have one.
Yeah,
That stays
like-
in it.
You're 18, you barely have a bank account.
I've had a bank account for ages.
I mean,
stop
an
making
adult
fun
bank
of him because
account.
he's a couple of years younger than us.
That doesn't
Oh,
mean
or
like,
me.
I've got mates who are 16 and they have phone tellers and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's not recommended.
Yeah, I had my
obviously,
debit
but
card when I was.
I'm just winding you up.
He is
You're
wound.
giving points that aren't valid, dude, and that pisses me off, man. You know it's wrong.
Yes,
And
I do. I'm sorry, I'm an asshole. I'll admit it.
Like
Anyway,
he's drinking water to suppress his rage.
Fair.
Such fury.
Matthew.
Put it this way, I feel like I might get targeted a lot in the tournament. I feel like there might be
You're
a
gonna
certain...
freaking lose, and it's gonna be because you made fun of Matt not having a debit card.
I'm gonna come
I could be
flying
on the
around the
same team
corner.
and I'll still get headshots.
Oh yeah, team kills exist for a good reason, Chief.
So
I like
Matt,
how. No, sorry,
what have you got? What you gonna say now?
nothing.
So PS5 has been released. Oh, it's
Been
not
released,
released.
fucking
The release
Jesus.
date. The release date.
It's
has
out,
been
guys. It's out for Matt. Matt's
The
special.
release period has been released, so it's going to come out by the end of the year.
Next year, and the next year, holiday 2020.
2020. Yeah. Okay.
So
I'm
next year.
fucking.
What year are we?
I'm
We're
thinking. Okay.
2019.
By the end of next year, it'll
Matt's
be
just
out.
this
So
excited. He's already in the future with the PS5.
I think he's accidentally giving away.
I mean,
He's like partnered with PlayStation, and they've just given him because he's like, it's been released, and everyone's like, no, it hasn't. And he's like, oh, quick, hide it.
shit. Quick, I mean, to be fair, when the PS3 released, my cousin went to Hong Kong, picked one up there because they released earlier over there. Came back with like a couple of months before they'd even released in the UK. So, you know.
Anyone want
chewing on my
contraband
headphones.
PS5s? Look how suspicious his cat looks.
He's chewing on my headphone
I
case.
like how John has joined the turning your camera down when your cat turns up that me and Bob used to get in
Do you know-
trouble for.
Do you know why I'm doing this? It's because he never sits like this, and I want it documented that he's done it.
That he loves you.
Because he never just sits on my lap when I'm at the computer. He always knocks stuff off shelves, so I
He
don't have
jumps
to
at
sit
you.
in my computer and chase him around and shut.
Are there any game titles with PS5?
No.
I think
Ghost
No,
of
so-
Tsushima is probably going to be a PS5 title because there's been
I've
shit.
never-
on
there are
it.
things you expect and you probably
Yeah.
think would
Last of
release
Us
on
2
it.
will get ported.
Definitely.
It's releasing within, like
There'll
10 months
definitely
of it.
be an EDF port.
There'll be an EDF 5000 and
And it will be somehow even cheesier than the previous
can
ones.
you not chew on my hand? Yeah, all there is right now is that it's got a pretty snazzy SSD. It's gonna have a new controller that's got haptic feedback in it, so things like pulling a trigger on a gun will feel different to drawing a bowstring. And devs are going to be able to tweak that setting if they want. Whether or not
Makes
they're
the
gonna
whole-
do that,
Makes the whole experience just a lot more immersive and
Yeah.
So sorry,
As opposed to just
haptic-
using a
haptic
controller.
feedback will make it feel like different. So like a you playing a driving game and crashing into a wall, the controller will give that back to you in a different way, as to say you're in a third person brawler and you've punched someone, it'll feel, or somebody punches you, it'll feel different. The
cool.
triggers they're context sensitive triggers, so they're going to be able to tweak those, and that's basically all they've talked about. That's the SSD is going to be interesting. I had a conversation about that, and I said, well, if it's able to do what it's essentially they're saying they're going to be able to do is, if you only want to install the single player component of a game, or you want to install that first over anything else, you can do that, and the SSD will prioritize.
That's cool. That's a good
That
idea.
isn't actually neat, yeah.
But I said take it one step further and allow people to buy only the components of the game they want, if you're able to do that.
But then you run the risk that people are going to start charging way more for each part.
What you do is you sell, say, like, if a game is primarily they want to focus on the multiplayer, you make that more expensive part, and then you're only ever allowed to do a maximum of like the standard retail price.
Yeah, but no one will ever enforce a maximum thing, will they?
Well, generally, there's in base versions of games never really go above 60 quid in the UK.
Yeah.
You'll normally get like deluxe editions or whatever. They'll be more expensive because
they'll be like, no, they tend to be 80.
Because you get an extra pony that's slightly different colour.
Yeah. But games have a general retail of 60 quid. So if you say we'll sell the multiplayer component of this for 25 quid, and then you can buy it as a bundle for everything for 50, 60 quid, I'd be fine with that, honestly. Because then it would just mean that I don't pay as much for single player components when I never play the multiplayer. Like, there are 2 games that I will play competitive multiplayer for, really, which is...
Over meme.
Halo and fucking Destiny. I'll play Overwatch when I'm playing with you and Richard and that because it's fun. I don't play it because I fucking like it. Like, I play it because I like playing with the people that I play with when I do that. But
Because we're such wonderful personalities. Right, Richard? Right?
I tried to explain.
Right?
Was it you that had this conversation with Bob where like when me, Nelly, Richard, Phil, and some other people are in like a stack and we're playing Overwatch.
We're really, really bad.
We're really, really bad, but we have so much fun that we rarely ever lose. And we're fucking terrible at it. Nelly, how many games we've played recently have we lost, like, together? Like, because we normally win at least 2 or 3 out of, like, 4 or 5, which is pretty good fucking odds, honestly. Like, we're good. We're really good at being really bad.
Good collectively.
Which is what I would say. Because we're not actually giving a shit about our performance in the game. We're just
Richard's
having
carrying.
fun.
So who said that?
He is. Richard and Phil generally do it, and I'm just sitting there a soldier going, ha, I killed someone.
I helped.
And
I held down left clicked and aimed and
Nelly
then
just goes, I want my golds, and then just like doesn't bother trying to kill anybody. She just sits in a corner and just fires out heals so that she can steal gold medals in Overwatch.
No one ever has my gold healing. It's my gold healing.
But
I am the support man.
We don't need 2 supports. All we need is me.
Competitive games for me, to play them without anybody else there, it is very much, it needs to be with people that I like playing.
To be fair, I haven't played Overwatch in a very long time on my own.
Yeah.
Except for like
Understandably.
But I won't,
Understandably.
like, it's unlikely for me to jump in that, you know, like in that Phil server, or you guys playing, I won't jump in with someone. Like, if it's you guys, I'll jump in. But if it's just people that I don't know and none of you guys are there, I'm not going to bother. Because it's like,
There's a lot of people in that server now.
And I don't know any
I
of
don't know.
them, and I can't be bothered learning who they are unless we're already in a group. Like, I'm not that person that will just jump into a random party with people that he doesn't know.
Phil has created an incredibly good server there.
Yeah, he gets plenty of activity.
It's a very, but just like the premise, like just a straight up Overwatch server. I like that server. Because like,
I stopped playing Overwatch a long time ago.
Yeah, but it's sort of what he hoped for with his other server, you know, the non-social one. It's like people don't really socialize. Yeah, people don't socialize in it very much. It's pretty much always just, is anyone playing? So if you look in that server chat, unless I'm being a prick and posting pictures of something because I'm chatting to people in voice chat, it's otherwise, as long as I'm not involved, it's just people asking about, you know, games, which is what he wanted from the young community, but it didn't happen as much with the young community because people joined it, but to like make it more busy, but then it never really hit off for actually searching for game people. There was also the fact that no one could
talk, which I know was part of the plan.
But you could talk to ask if people wanted to play, which is all people say in the Overwatch one. It's just that the Overwatch one works better because it's a whole community of just people looking for Overwatch.
Yeah.
So if that server goes off, if anything happens in that server, you're like, oh, someone's playing. Yeah. And then you go join them, and it's like you don't have to like check that it's something that you actually want to do that evening. You're just like, oh, some straight up. I know. And also, if you ever want someone to play with,
chances are
you know someone's going to reply.
Yeah.
My brain just went through all the backward steps of how we got to this point, and now I've remembered where we started from. We were talking about selling individual components.
Yeah.
We'll pull this back onto track because it's 10:10.
Bedtime.
So I would be down for them going one step further and being like, yo, you just want to buy the single player component for this game, then you can do that. And if it's priced fairly, then by all means, go ahead. I would be more than down for that because it would mean I would save money. If your hard drives are capable of doing that, then it should be a thing. Because Steam has already, like anytime you buy a Call of Duty game on Steam, you always get the multiplayer and the single player separate. They're separate installs.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Not all. What do you mean?
Advanced Warfare, Call of Duty.
Oh, the COD. Yeah.
Call of Duty. They've always been separate installs from.
Quite a lot of them have been. Yeah.
Black Ops 2 onwards, I want to say. but I wouldn't know. I've only got Advanced Warfare on Steam. And I think I got it because it was like £3, and I'm one of the few people that actually likes Advanced Warfare.
Same with Zombies as well. Zombies is usually separate.
Yeah. So,
yeah. I knew Zombies was
175 gig. Is that what the new one is going to be? Is it?
That's Modern Warfare, yeah. So Modern
How
Warfare
are games so big?
is asking for that much space on your hard drive.
So the thing about Call of Duty games is they've always been that similar size, and it's full of bloat because the campaign will not be that long. And it'll be a lot to do with visual fidelity. It'll be there'll be so much bullshit from the multiplayer that's in there that just no one can access. That they're going to release periodically.
That's why data mining is so prominent in COD.
Yeah, so it's going to be nuts. And I for one, I'm not to be touching that. However, on the topic of Call of Duty, if anybody hasn't seen it, the next Humble monthly bundle is going to be fucking fantastic. Because both the Crash Bandicoot and Spyro remasters are both in there for PC.
For $12.
As well as Call of Duty World War II, which was actually pretty good.
Actually pretty decent.
It
I'm
reminded
playing
me of the classic PlayStation 2 Call of Duties. Kind of went back to that. It was just a game. It was just a first-person shooter game. It was a World War II first-person shooter game because you had like health bars, and it was cool. It was much fun. It was all fun. Reminded me of like Medal of Honor, classic Medal of Honor, before they decided to try and be edgy and set their game in a current fucking war zone that at the time my brother was involved in, which was fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna base it in current Operation Afghanistan, where probably like brothers, sisters, sons, daughters are all currently in, potentially dying. Yeah, that's going to sell well. It didn't sell well. Then they tried to make a sequel, and that sold even worse. And no one's heard from Model of Honor since.
Nope.
So, yeah, like that's kind of that would just be for me. Just single player. So that would just be what I would buy, or like a co-op portion of it. I would buy the co-op portion. Competitive, if it wasn't something that like a group of people that I knew were going to buy, I wouldn't bother. Oh yeah, just while I have it in my head, Matt, Breakpoint shit. Ghost Recon Breakpoint is shit.
I'm offended.
It's awful.
I'm offended.
It is fucking terrible.
I'm offended.
It is rife with microtransactions. There is fuck all to do in the world. It takes forever to go anywhere. You don't have a squad to help you in single player. They've stripped the squad away.
You know, that's what they were intending to do later on in Wildlands. That's what they did. They were like, you could opt in. Because most of the time, especially when you're doing stealth, those AI would just fuck you over and get led.
The only other way to do a sync shot is to have a consumable amount of a drone.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, pass. It's awful. And it stutters to fuck, man. Its performance, it's terrible. It's fucking terrible, man.
I mean, I couldn't run it, so
it shits the bed on a 1080. My PC, it shits the bed driving along a road.
Matt's just like, well, your PC sucks.
Optimizations are fucking terrible.
Sounds like a you problem.
I haven't enjoyed it, and I'm really annoyed that I used my month's free trial for fucking Breakpoint because it's awful.
Fair. I know when I get my PC, that's the first thing I'm gonna get,
and I think
and then Shadowkeep after that. When I can afford it.
When you start playing it, I think you'll realise it's terrible once you get so far.
Well, no, because one, I'm a UB fanboy, and two, I love Wildlands.
Yeah, but it's not Wildlands, and it doesn't matter if you're a UB fanboy. It's still a fucking terrible game.
No, because I won't deny.
It might be better by the time you pick it up, but right now, it's fucking terrible. It's not fun at all. It's just That's
arguably this is arguably the first time someone slates it like that.
Have you seen any of the reviews for it?
No, I haven't. That's one of the reasons why. But coming from all of my mates are saying,
maybe they're all UB fanboys as well and can't see.
They're not. That's the thing.
But if they have fun, doesn't matter why.
all I'm saying is just be prepared to be actually disappointed by the full release when you get your hands on it. It's not.
I'm drawing small heart-shaped balloons all over my notes for today.
It's not what you expect. Anyway, what else have you got on your list?
Balloons.
They're really cute. Little tiny balloons.
Now he's incredibly invested in the show, guys. I'm just gonna.
I really commit. When people start arguing about games that one of them loves and one of them hates, I draw heart balloons to release the tension.
So what else have you got on your list?
Yeah. What else you got, Matt?
That, and then there's as Richard has commented in chat, Red Dead.
Oh yeah, it's PC release.
Oh yeah.
Red Dead PC. Another game that I will not be getting on launch.
Be interested in any way whatsoever because
I have it on Xbone.
hated PS4, hated Red Dead 2.
Fair. What did you not like about it?
It's not.
You
it's
got
not
bored
what I
of
wanted
the
it to
second
be.
one, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I got to like chapter 4 and I was like, where's the set? It felt like, you know, when Grand Theft Auto 4 came out and everybody just didn't like it because like what made it Grand Theft Auto just wasn't there. There was no sense of humor. It was drab, it was dark, it was grey. It wasn't stupid. And I feel like Red Dead 2 did the same thing. I feel like they went for graphical fidelity and talking about how amazing their world looked, but didn't really have anything in it. Like, you know, there wasn't as many strangers, there wasn't as many weird things to go do. There wasn't obscenely stupid characters. There wasn't some dude that just went around digging up fucking bodies and doing God knows what to them. It didn't feel. It felt like it felt more like it was trying to be a history lesson than a video game for me. And I think that's probably the best way that I can put it into words. And do you know what? I'm not the only person that after getting over that initial, like, oh my god, it's Red Dead 2, we've been waiting so long for this, to then go, actually, this game is fucking terrible. Because it's not good. It's not what it should have been. It's not what and I've complained about this, but I'm not going to tell people not to play it. If that's the thing they want to play, then play it. But it's not what I wanted it to be. It wasn't Red Dead Redemption to me, because Red Dead 1 was stupid enough that they did a zombies version of it, and it made sense.
Yeah.
If they did a zombies version of Red Dead 2, it would feel so fucking out of place that there would just be no point in doing it. Because there's been people talking about finding zombies and stuff walking around in the online.
They have,
yeah. And it's like, yeah, why? That's just really stupid for that world because it feels too real.
Yeah,
I get you. I get that in what I've seen of the actual game.
It's probably just a nod to.
But I enjoyed it.
That's fine.
I liked it.
If you
but
enjoyed it,
I'm very bad at committing to the whole of games, so I have actually played less than John, but I think I've enjoyed it more. I just lose.
But I think that says something
quite
that
easily.
you didn't go back and finish it because there's obviously
I only finished Red Dead 1 about 2 weeks before Red Dead 2 came out, and I've owned that game since it was released.
I do feel as well that it's
I didn't get very far.
It's too long. I feel like in Chapter 4, given how long it takes you to get to Chapter 4, that you should be winding down at that point. But it goes all the way up to Chapter 6, and then there's an epilogue after that as well. It's far too fucking long, for one thing. And it's like, they could have done... I've never finished Grand Theft Auto 5, but I had way more fun with Grand Theft Auto 5 because there was a point in that game where it just became ridiculous. Like, they're fucking involved in some, like, weird government cover-up, and then they're going to go raid, and it just gets stranger, and then waking up as Trevor, and he's naked on a beach, and he's killed 7 people, and then you're getting chased by the police. There's a sense of humor that isn't in Red Dead 2. And I also know how my game's going to end. I know my ending for Red Dead 2 because I did a thing I wasn't supposed to do. And then I had that spoiled online. So, and I knew as soon as it happened, I was like, this game's got that level of realism in it, that this thing that's happened is going to be the thing that ends the game for me. And it does. It is an ending. If you are not, as you progress through the game, what happens to you gets worse and worse and worse. And that is your ending. So in some respects, you might not even get the full Red Dead 2 ending because of that particular event. If you do it, and it's a side quest, so you're obviously going to go do it because you're like, oh, something that isn't main fucking plot. I got rid of that haze of Red Dead 1 and then went, let's look at this as a game. and not look at it as a Rockstar game. Just look at it as a game. And when you look at it as a game, it doesn't hold up, because it is ride from camp to camp and mission to mission, do some very bland, boring missions. We'll maybe go into the politics of the time, and we'll have horse balls that shrink and grow. Do you maybe think that you went, like, do you think that they tried to pass that off as a funny thing, but we're actually doing it for realism? Because when you look at Rockstar and their back catalogue of games, do you go, they're really realistic? They're like really well known for the realism. I don't. I go for the fact that one of the cheats for Grand Theft Auto 1 was hang the DJ and change your portrait into a parrot, and that you could just do stupid shit. Like, one of the Grand Theft Auto games was set in like the 70s in London. Like,
Well, I mean, London did exist in the 70s.
yeah,
No, it didn't.
that's
Did
what I
it
mean.
not?
Is that it's the London in the 70s.
It vanished
is
for that period.
It's a funny
came
period
back.
of time to set a Grand Theft Auto game,
True.
because you're just people walking around with afros and shit.
That actually
But
makes it sound like that's why they did it.
it feels like they just went, let's just make this game super real and take out all of the fucking fun and sense of humor. And then anything that is vaguely interesting, we're going to put it in the absolute fucking middle of nowhere of the map. That'll take you forever to find it. And then you'll get murdered by wolves on your way there, and then get sent back really far so that you have to go do all of that again. If you enjoyed it, fair enough. I understand, but it wasn't a good game. And I'd like to see people review it a year on from its release and be like, let's have another look at it now that the rose-tinted glasses are gone, and see how well it does. Because it got 10s. And I was going to get really annoyed if Red Dead 2, that had been out for like 2 months at the time, had taken Game of the Year for God of War. Because that was a fucking video game. And it was them two. Red Dead 2 had been getting, because it was a Game Awards, Red Dead 2 had been getting awards all night. It was like they were getting like best soundtrack and shit like that. And then it came up to best game, and I was like, see if it's Red Dead 2, I'm going to freak out. It was God of War, and I was like, that's what it should have been, because that game was released in 2018. That period of time where it should show up. Red Dead 2 had been out for a month and was getting all of these awards, and you're just like, really? Surely there should be a cutoff for this shit, so that games that have been out for less than 2 weeks can actually, or games that have been out for longer than 2 weeks can actually fucking get rewarded for what they've done. Yeah. Anyway.
There was at one of the PS awards, actually. It was one of these small indie games actually pipped a lot of the big developers at the posts for best soundtrack. Everyone's gone to Rapture.
Celeste did quite well as well.
Yeah. And I just found it kind of funny. It's like they had a lot of big names all getting awards because they've done good work. That's fine. But then there's one indie developer who gets best soundtrack for a very obscure title. And it's just kind of looks on their faces of, wait, what? Who's this?
Yeah,
what?
It's indie. It's because indie music is better. Let's be real.
They've got freedom.
They've got freedom.
More freedom.
And it's not all orchestral soundtracks that are performed by like 75 member bands and stuff. Sometimes chiptune is better than a fucking orchestra. Like,
Or even just
when
like...
you ask people about the best soundtracks, they'll go back to like SNES and NES games.
Yeah.
They'll go back to like your Sonics, your Marios, your Final Fantasies. Even modern day, you've got like Dead Cells, FTL. Basically, any of the roguelikes that have been released in the last 3 years have got phenomenal soundtracks. Because there's heart, soul put into them. Pyre, Bastion, Transistor, Hades.
Oh, Bastion's soundtrack is
anything
amazing.
made by Supergiant. The guy that they hire for that is fantastic for doing soundtracks. But it's like, oh, we're a big budget game, so we can go big budget band. You've still got to make it good. Like, most people are looking for music in a game that is catchy. You look at Doom, it's designed to make you feel violent in the moment. You know, like
I use that soundtrack to go to the gym.
a lot of people
Good idea.
do because it's
fucking
one of these.
motivational.
Yeah, it's one of these. But then when you're riding through the fucking
Tundra.
Wild West on a horse that's too fucking slow, with like fucking banjos and violins, and you're like,
Well, they didn't have banjos back then.
I think as well, like
Proper hillbilly music, that's always good.
fast travel and stuff like that in RDR2 is
You
shit.
start drinking from a thing that says XXX on it, and then maybe you'll have more fun riding across the Wild West.
If
Get
like
some moonshine for you.
Yeah, just drink some moonshine on your way.
maybe that's what I didn't do. I wasn't
In real
drunk enough.
life.
Maybe that's
Yeah,
why I
you weren't
didn't
drunk enough to play Red Dead. You weren't getting into the moment. You weren't really living the experience like they wanted you to.
I have
You weren't
uninstalled
waving
it,
a pistol round in the air.
but
That's how I played Red Dead 2.
I am
Or
in the
waving a
process
pistol in the air.
No, bottle of moonshine.
I'm in the process of clearing out games from the last year that I haven't finished. So
The pistol was for Viva La Piñata.
I'll probably reinstall Red Dead 2 and have a look at that again and maybe try and just finish it.
Don't
but
make yourself play a game.
I never normally do, but I'm in this thing right now of actually trying to finish some games. So I finished Link's Awakening, almost finished Astral Chain, I could finish RDR2. I need to finish the DLC for Spider-Man. There's some other bits and pieces on Steam that I'm slowly working my way through. But then stuff like Destiny comes up, and then I just get absorbed, and that's me. Matt, anything else?
No, that was about it. It's just those two topics. Those two bit. Something. I'm trying to. No, I was just trying to think of.
He's
what
probably
else.
playing fucking Siege. Well, he's
Why do I be playing Siege right now? What?
You've done that before. I think you've had a game running while you've been on a podcast. I think. Am I imagining this?
I've never known him have a game
All right,
running.
fair enough. I'm imagining.
I've done that occasionally, like with Cat's Quest and whatnot. Fired up like midstream. I did that last time,
Oh yeah, Casco.
which I'm actually
Cat's
really
Quest was
enjoying.
cute. Are you actually playing it?
Yeah, I've been playing a bit. I've not
To
got
be
far,
fair,
but
I
I've
did buy
actually
it as
played-
well because it was $1.99 and it's not bad.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't get it.
For
It's not
one
$1.99 anymore though. Anyway.
No,
Oh.
Oh, the price go back up.
probably.
I was just pleasantly surprised. It was a cheap game, and it's actually fun. I was just like,
Aw, I wish I got it now.
I just say my room.
Not that
is
I ever play anything above
freezing.
Overwatch, so it's
Cat
not
Quest 2 has the option to play as a dog as well, by the way.
You know the game that I really want to go back to that I used to play as lots as a kid was Cats. You know with the Z.
Neo, do
and
not
dogs
climb
with
on
a
that
Z.
TV.
Did anyone ever play those? Because they were very. I wouldn't
was
be
that
surprised if
on
you
the
guys haven't.
Nintendo DS.
No, I mean I
No.
think it might have been, but originally it was on PC, and you literally just sort of adopted cats. And then you didn't really do anything else. You didn't have to feed them. You didn't have to play with them. You could literally just bully them the whole time, and you just had like different scenes. You just
We're
had different
learning
scenes.
some
There
shit
was-
about Nelly right now.
But no, but that
He
was
was
the
a
point.
veterinary
My,
nurse.
my point was, my point wasn't, you know, you could bully them. My point was, you didn't actually have to do anything with them. You adopted them. You could make them have kittens and puppies if you committed to it. There was no point to this game. There was no end. There was no storyline. There was no progression.
beginning.
You didn't unlock more cats if you kept like adopting them and looking after them well. You just had all the cats from the start, and then you got more cats. And you didn't even have a limit. You could have as many types of each cat as you wanted. I think.
Okay.
But you could only ever have 2 out at once.
I do sort of vaguely remember something like that.
It
in
was
my head.
very weird, and it was very pointless, and I loved it, and I really want to get it again. So I'm gonna. But I don't
To
know when.
reimagine it.
Yeah. But my actual topic for this week was co-op games.
Co-op
Because
game.
co-op games. Because me and the boyfriend, and I realised just how ragey I get. Well, I don't really get ragey, but I get upset at co-op games because we're playing Lego Harry Potter. We played Lego Lord of the Rings the other day. Well, the other week, month, whatever. We're now playing Lego Harry Potter, and obviously it's a co-op game. You don't compete except for picking up the little coin things, whatever the actual name for them is. I always call them gems,
Studs.
but studs. Thank you. That's the word. I got very upset because he kept stealing all of my good studs. I kept doing all the challenging thingies and getting the blue studs, and then he'd run in and he'd get them, and I got really mad. But what
it
co-op
goes to a
games?
collective total, right? And there's no way to
No,
actually
no,
keep
no,
track of...
no. In certain chapters, in like the general between chapter things, it's general, it's communal. But in the actual
Oh, no, yeah, it
sections,
does.
you
No, it
have
does.
counts at the top.
You're right.
And he was 20k ahead of me because he kept picking up all the ones that I got. They were mine, and he kept picking them up. But I was curious what co-op games people like, because on my list was obviously like the Lego games. They're like such a classic one. But then like Portal 2, that's a really good, because that's like actual working together. Borderlands a good one. Is that your favorite?
I mean,
it might be his favorite.
It's the one
Is
that
that your
me and Bob have
contributor?
played the most.
Mm.
Halo is always a good shout, because you can play all of the Halos up to 5 couch co-op, and then 5 you need 2 consoles.
Split screen.
EDF.
I love couch
There's a
co-op.
co-op
Couch
game.
co-op's like the nicest thing. When we were at Overcooked,
Oh,
it's
I
a
was
really
going
good
to
one.
say Overcooked.
Oh,
When I
We've
went
definitely
back to
got that.
uni. I went back to uni with a load of my mates just for like a holiday. So we all went and stayed in Aberystwyth, and we all played Overcooked. And there was like 5 of us, so we
Overcooked.
sort of rotated
That's
through it.
chaos.
And it was just so much fun. And then obviously you went back to uni, so everyone got drunk. So then it's even more fun. Also, David Attenborough is a very good drinking game. Just in case anyone needs any ideas. We do not condone binge drinking and unhealthy consumption of alcohol on
Nelly
this podcast.
doesn't condone binge drinking and unhealthy consumption of alcohol. I, however, don't care what you do with your life. Just don't blame me. That's my official
No
stance.
quoting us in court when you get arrested.
When?
I mean, it
They
wouldn't
told
actually
me to
stand
do
up, because if you actually try and use that excuse in court, they just go
ignore you.
no.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
Like, you're still a free agent. You can do what you want.
yeah.
Like,
They
you
just
still
because some
chose to follow
podcast
that description.
told you to doesn't mean you have to.
It's these people who say, "Oh, God told me to do it."
Mm.
You just dismiss you as a crazy and say, "No, that's not a valid excuse."
But video games make people violent, so maybe podcasts make people binge
Oh.
drinkers.
Maybe.
I mean, it's
So yeah,
kind of
so
worrying because
what's-
most people listen or watch podcasts, like vodcasts, when they're on their way to like work, on a train
Yeah.
or something, you know.
Have a
So,
bit of fun with your commute.
yeah. So
Crash
Bit of
your
murder.
car. Don't go to work. Who cares?
any of the
Probably
Halos
work.
before Halo 5, I would particularly recommend Halo Reach because it's the best story.
Oh, Halo Reach is beautiful.
We are doing, me and you, Bob, we are doing Halo Reach when it releases on PC. We're doing
Fair.
that for the channel. That's non-negotiable, but I don't think you would try and negotiate that anyway.
Why would I want out of that? Halo Reach.
EDF is a good shout if you're interested in really shit games. One, I've been through this
Like-
before. It's the best worst game that's ever been made.
It's the proper B movie of the gaming world.
Oh,
Vermintide.
Any of the
what's
Lego
the one
games,
with the ragdoll people?
Human Fall Flat?
That's the one. That one's
Yeah.
amazing. That
we
was
still
so
need to go
good.
finish that new level, Bob, as well, and that.
Oh yeah, we've not started that.
What about you, Matt?
So yeah, there's Vermintide 2, which I played with my mates, as well as...
You got very loud.
Did I? What?
Yes.
He's just enthusiastic.
Yeah.
What?
Don't
No,
Don't
steal
dull
it.
his
no,
sparkle.
It was just like
Vermintide 2.
Stop bullying him, John.
Vermintide
I just
2,
sounded like it
and
was
then
peaking, so I
there's-
just had to turn you down a bit. It wasn't like
Vermintide 2, and then there's Wildlands. I played that extensively co-op. That's just good fun. Just to piss about on an open world platform.
If everyone had to pick like a co-op game that was like the only co-op game that you could play with people, what would you pick?
Borderlands.
I
Really?
think something open world, if I'm honest.
Hmm.
So I don't know if you can class Borderlands as an open world.
Yeah, you can because you're not restricted.
Yeah.
It's just more.
Okay.
You would call it probably more sandbox because it's different
Yeah.
individual areas, but you're not like on a singular path. There's side quests, there's separate side areas and collectibles and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean it's not one substantial complete open world, but it is open world.
I mean, games like Skyrim say they were open world, but you still had like to go inside you had to teleport to a different area when you went inside a building or out a building. You still loaded between areas.
That was just back then. That's
But,
how
yeah.
things worked, though, wasn't it?
But for
Yeah,
me, it's
before.
100% Borderlands.
I think you were gonna say
Yeah.
Skyrim was your favorite co-op game, and I was like,
Oh no,
I didn't know about that spot. I mean, I love Skyrim, but
I
the
mean,
co-op factor
Can
definitely
it be a
passed me
game
by.
that's not out yet?
No.
Why?
I
Yeah,
was
what
going
were
to say
you gonna?
KSP2
Uh,
because multiplayer.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's actually going to be my favorite, but I just imagine it will actually be my favorite for co-op. I'm actually struggling to think. I've got so many in my head right now.
See, I think unlike
Minecraft.
Matt and John, Minecraft, that's a good one.
I won't
But is
class that as
it? Would
co-op,
you
though.
say it's co-op though? Yeah.
It's malleable enough. It's almost anything you want.
I wouldn't.
It
It isn't necessarily classable as co-op, though.
it's not. It's more of a.
Sandbox.
It's more.
Really?
Well, it's more just sort of like. I'm trying to think of the right wording for it. It's.
Because then you could class
there's a name for
like Destiny
it.
2 or something as co-op when it isn't really.
Yeah, it has a co-op mode, but it's not primary co-op, is it?
You can choose to work together with people if you want to.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
kind of thing.
It is kind of the emphasis is on having 3-man fire teams. Same with Borderlands of having 4 players in a team and being in very different classes and builds. That to me is more of a level of co-op than say Minecraft, where it's just random people jumping in and doing stuff. You can play cooperatively in doing things, but you're not playing together really in most cases towards a common goal, unless your whole goal is to get to the end. But even at that point,
could you class Overwatch as co-op because you're cooperating with your own team?
that is a competitive team-based shooter. So while the actual notion is cooperation, it's a team-based shooter, so it's already in the name that you're playing as part of a team. So no.
Overwatch is definitely co-op.
You could not count Overwatch as co-op.
So
Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead.
That's definitely
Left 4 Dead you could, for sure.
Definitely. But I feel like I would go away from like what John and Matt picked. Again, I'm pointing at people in the wrong places probably. Matt and John. Actually, I was fairly good. You're just the wrong way around. I would go for something like you improve with over time, not something like Pool 2, because that's not improving over time. That's just hating your friends who haven't played it yet. Move the block. just for the
Left
logo,
click
move just,
over there.
You could just put that right there for me. So that's not cooperative. That's just hating your friends. I would do something that you like get better with, like Overcooked or something. Where it's
Overcooked.
not people being stupid. It's just
Overcooked is a very good example of
it's
co-op.
just becoming better at it, like with practice. I feel like I'd want to play something like that. But I'm not really a Borderlandsy person.
You should be.
And I want to be that stupid spaghetti meatball person right at the end of Overcooked. Because me and my boyfriend have played Overcooked as well, and we have not played. We have left that level. We leave a lot of last levels.
Do we all have
on co-op games? I don't own it. I could own it.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Just for maybe future stuff.
I'm just gonna
Later.
stand in a corner if we do the ice level though, because ice levels
Steve's
upset
definitely
me.
playing it. Steph's got it on her account on the Switch, so I would just use her account, most likely.
Which
but...
would mean we'd have to put on a Switch, though.
I don't own a Switch.
Yes.
I've found a
So
hole
we'd all
enough.
have to have it on PC.
How about
Which
this,
you can get
Bob?
cheap enough.
Bob, buy
Yeah.
me a Switch and I'll buy Overcooked.
Other way
Yes.
around, and I'll consider
No.
it.
No. This is negotiating.
I feel like this is a slightly more one-sided deal.
No. Yes, it's one-sided for you.
This deal's getting worse every time.
I'll
Worst
contribute a
trade
$5
deal
towards the
in the
Switch.
history of trade deals, maybe ever.
Right, I like how I go Star Wars, Lando Calrissian, and then you go Donald Trump.
It's more modern.
I got sent a picture of a cat that looks like Donald Trump.
It's more relatable. It's contemporary humor.
Yeah. Bob's the relatable content. You're for the old folks.
Well, contemporary.
John. Oh my god, I
I
keep
mean,
getting
Star
ages
Wars is
mixed up.
probably much more relatable than
Yeah,
Trump,
true.
to be honest.
Webcam.
Oh no, don't
Come
worry, you're
back.
back in focus. Yeah, you're already back.
He says that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's it'd probably be something like Borderlands. Maybe the Halos, because I don't really ever get bored of Halo.
Ooh, my leg's just gone numb.
What, suddenly?
Yeah, I've just got pins and needles.
Halo.
I should probably stop crossing my legs.
I think I would
Suddenly
probably
the
go
bad
with
side.
Halo Reach, actually, because the firefights there.
Really?
Firefights a lot of fun. It's 4-player wave based, and it's insane.
In terms of Halo, when I was little, I must have been like 12 or something, probably, maybe a little bit older, 12, 13. I had, obviously, I didn't really have a lot of gaming friends, because like all my girlfriends were like, they were like, you know, shopping-y type people.
Yeah, you said this before.
Yeah, and yeah, me and my friend used to play Halo. Like, she was not gaming at all, but for some weird reason, we used to love playing Halo.
Yeah,
So Halo,
I'm pretty sure you mentioned this.
Yeah, Halo is the inclusive gaming community, clearly.
I think it's just
Of girls who like handbags and shoes, and girls who like playing games.
It's just a very approachable franchise.
My leg's dying. Yeah. I don't know why we liked that so much.
Halo can be incredibly easy or the hardest game you'll ever play. It has, you know, and it does have those stages in between. But if you decide to jump in on like a casual difficulty, you're gonna breeze through it. But as soon as you go to like, not like the step above normal before legendary, it just gets nuts. Like Richard was trying to convince me to do like Halo Reach, with all skulls legendary, and I'm like,
oh, good luck.
No, I'm not doing that.
You pride in your existence.
I will hard pass on that one. Although if it's good content for the channel, then maybe. It's a possibility.
Just opened yourself up there to a world of pain now.
Yeah, now we've just got to convince people to convince you.
Matt, did you pick a game? You did, didn't you? Will we just have like Ghost Recon Wildlands or something?
Yeah, Wildlands and Vermintide.
Yeah, Vermintide.
But which one if you had to pick one?
Good.
Wildlands co-op is very fun. Picking one, yeah, it'd probably Vermintide because that's good fun.
Vermintide has variations and stuff like that now.
Yeah, it's designed for replayability. They engineered it so that it's semi-randomized throughout the levels.
I think after the third run of a 48-hour third-person shooter, you're gonna start going. Oh. But at least with something like Vermintide,
nah, because that's different now. Because open world is just piss about. It's more of a sandbox playground as opposed to co-op grind.
I need to look at Vermintide 2 again because the Beastmen and stuff are out.
Oh,
and they've changed a bunch of stuff.
That's interesting.
I don't know why, but the word grind just made me want to play World of Warcraft.
Ballad.
I just heard grind and I was like, I want to play World of Warcraft.
That is the
Why
best.
was one of these games I've always have personally?
I just I've tried and
What?
Warcraft.
Are we still Warcraft?
Yeah.
I love Warcraft. I love trying to get the mounts. The easy ones. I hate trying to get the hard ones. I hate the ones that are all... Shut up, John. Fine.
Sorry.
No, fine.
Anything else now? Because I've got other stuff. I've got.
If we've got other stuff, I've got other topics.
You've got 5 minutes.
If we want to. Do you want to
Let's
see my show and tell?
Let's go.
Do you want to see my no gaming related show and tell?
5 minutes. Go.
Look at this cute watch I got. Look. You want to know the funniest thing?
Oh, wow, that's nice.
Yeah, look at this. Got all these different straps. But look, the funniest thing is, it's probably not going to focus on. Yeah, so it's all one watch. It's not going to focus. So basically, on it, you've also got like.
Wow,
the day
Nelly,
of the
if
week.
that's all one watch, you've got a really fat wrist.
A long wrist.
It's like
go up that way.
it's really
like
cool.
a
I can wear a
Hollister.
different strap for every day of the week. Well, you know, every day of the work week. But the really funny thing is, what really sold me is it has on it, like, you know, day of the month and then also day of the week things. And I was like, oh, how awesome. Spent bloody ages trying to work out how to get them to work. And it turns out that they are just stuck on and they're not real dials. So the watch part actually works. And then it just has decorative.
Did you buy it off a Wish by any chance?
No, I got it off TK Maxx. I had TK Maxx. But it was only
still.
It was only £17. And
Yeah.
it's got like 5 straps. And I thought, well, it's still quite pretty. And I only
Pretty
want it for the time. But I just think it's really funny that it is always Wednesday. And I was like, okay.
That's gonna trip you
Well,
up.
At least
It's
somewhere
always
down the
Wednesday.
line.
It's
and then
always
go,
Wednesday
"Shit,
the
I've got nothing
14th.
for podcast. So I need to
It's
find
always...
stuff.
Wait, what's this?
If you can look at it and go, oh shit, it's Wednesday, I need to find stuff for tonight.
Yeah, I always panic about this. But it's fine, because I have 3 topics, so I've got the next 3 weeks covered. As long as I don't lose my book. For anyone who has really quick eyes, there's the topics for the next 2 weeks. There they are again.
Sure,
Right, okay, I'm done doing that.
Freeze frame and
Might be a
Yeah,
bit
but it's going to
blurry.
be really blurry anyway, and
Yeah.
also my
I
handwriting
know.
is atrocious.
So,
Your handwriting is atrocious, is it?
Actually, you've still got 4 minutes. That only took a minute, so you've got 4 minutes.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good topic. I just thought it was a pretty watch. And it has
They are
different
nice.
stamps.
They're
I
nice.
just think it's really cool, and it was £17, and it can be any form of watch. It can be a casual watch. It can be a formal watch.
Oh, excuse me.
It could
Why
be an
did everyone-
Overwatch.
What did everyone? What got everyone into
Delete
playing
this.
video games?
Hmm?
Like initially, because mine was family. Because I had 2
Yeah,
older brothers
same.
Sorry,
and a
I'm
dad.
just going to go back a step there and just tell Bob that I hate him, and then we can carry on again.
I'm just gonna point out that Nero just like
Dropped off my
leap of
windowsill.
faith,
Yes,
leap of faith off your windowsill through the curtains.
he does that. What I find amazing is he can jump half the width of the living room from the top of a bookcase, but he cannot jump up to the windowsills without help. It's amazing that like his distance is fucking great, but his height is shocking. He
That's
cannot.
standard, though, isn't
He
it?
cannot get up on the window. They're not even that high though. I
Have
have
you
to put a
seen
chair in front of one of them for him to get up to it.
Have you seen the meme though about the fact about lions?
That is why that.
Where it's they can jump so many feet, and then someone's corrected it like no, they can leap, they can't just jump straight up in the air, like because it's like a ridiculous amount of feet.
I
And
saw
it's
like
they
30 odd foot, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah. They
Not-
jump that
not
either
straight
breaking
up.
their legs coming back down.
I'd just like to point
Um,
out as well, we've been ghosted by Richard because he said BRB and then he never came back.
It's a
So
sad moment
it's-
in
I'm
our
hurt.
time.
You-
I'm hurt.
made fun of World of Warcraft. That is exactly the reason.
Probably.
We're not going to point out the fact that topic came up like half an hour after he left, but that's the reason. But yeah. So what about? So me and Matt are
I
both
just-
family.
Consoles were around when I was a kid, and that was just what started.
But like you must have.
Just that
That's
was
like
it.
playing,
They were there.
because when
and
I
that was what I did.
You were just like that. My thing.
Yeah.
my dad
mine
had
was,
stuff.
Mine was because my family did it, so I was like, I want to play on that.
No, I
thing.
mean you could kind of say the same because it was my mum, and then
Mm.
I showed Chizzy a picture of my stepgran 'cause she was on like I was just scrolling through Facebook on the bus. And,
There's a moose. The moose.
I
The
was
moose.
like, I showed him this picture and I says, "Would you put her together with Devil May Cry, Soul Reaver, Doom?" And he went, "No." And that's exactly like that was who got me into that when I was way younger than I should have been playing those games.
Is everyone just introduced to games by their parents?
I mean, it's pretty much
Or
where most
family.
of my hobbies have come from. My dad is a big Star Wars fan. He likes Transformers, a lot of figures and Lego and stuff like that was around when I was a kid.
I suppose your parents have sort of got to take you to stuff when you're a kid,
Turtles
or
and
get you
comic
the
books
things,
and
so they've got to have an interest. That's where my horse came from. Mum used to take me horse riding. My brother used to horse ride as well.
how very posh.
And now I have my old man horse. I have the best weekend planned. I have so many horses.
Okay.
So you plan on
And
horsing
Bob?
around.
Fuck you.
And Bob.
Yeah,
You're gonna
so
say family
because
as
my
well.
dad ran a computer repair shop,
Mhm.
had computers around me my whole life. That's partly why I'm a PC gamer, because I grew up playing PC games. My
That was
earliest
my other
memories.
topic.
Yeah.
And then he became a filthy console scrub like the rest of us.
Yep. Well, no, I've become more.
Do you know? I know. I feel like I know the point where it happened, which is when my PC started
Yes.
being better than his. So he just went, "I'm just going to buy consoles."
No, it's when I finally got tempted by the Xbox 360.
I love the 360.
Mainly because Halo.
I was sitting in. I was in CX just looking at PlayStation 2 games, and I started looking at 360 games, and I was like, "You should get a 360 again because there were some fucking awesome games out for that."
You'll go back to it though, and you'll be like, "This looks shit."
The thing is, though, Matt, all those PS2 games that I've got sitting now, the GameCube games, haven't touched them since I bought them. They are there as part of a collection. They are there as well, though, that if I want to play them, I can. Like, I just picked up Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie tie-in, which was a lot of people will tell you is really bad. I think it's quite fun. And a rare Spyro game, which is Spyro: A Hero's Tale, which was people kind of forget existed. Because it was Spyro 1, 2, and 3, then Enter the Dragonfly, and then everybody kind of thought he disappeared, but then there was Hero's Tale as well, which is less seen these days, which is why it cost me more than it should have. I just get it's a collection, you know, like this is maybe something that it's a bit of a shame, because obviously you're not that much younger than us, but you're growing up in a different generation of.
But we'll call you a child.
No, I'm not going to say that at all. You're growing up in a different generation of the way that games are consumed. So 9 times out of 10, things are all digital. Whereas when I grew up, it was all physical cases. It was original Xbox. I know you can still get that, but I feel like we're going further and further towards a future where that's not going to be a thing anymore, and it's all going to be digital. I mean, do you play predominantly on PC, so you don't have physical boxes for PC games anymore? They don't exist. Like, you can buy them pre-owned, but it's only up to a point where you can do that, because then digital activation became a thing, and you couldn't sell games PC games unless they were sealed, and now you can't buy PC games on disc anymore. Really, it's difficult. So, and you'll never.
It's also almost pointless now.
But yeah, because it's all
harder to install from disc nowadays.
Yeah. Most people don't even. I don't have a disc drive. Mine's is all fans on the front. So
yeah, mine.
I have a disc drive, but it doesn't work.
And I don't say that to you, Matt. It's like a slight either. It's just the way that things are for you. But I do feel bad that you didn't grow up in that point where you got to see in your own place. Like, obviously you can see photos of it online of people's collection and stuff, but you won't see that in your house unless you decide to start doing that. Of like, you know, a wall of bookcases just full of games, PS2 games and Xbox games and 360 games and stuff.
I had a load of PS2 games, like a big rack downstairs.
Do you want to get rid of them?
They've already gone. That's they've already gone. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. That's what I said. Had.
Damn it. Damn it.
Wasn't mine to even sell either. It's my dad's stuff. So.
Wow.
And yeah, they went.
I feel like it's not really. Like, it's kind of cool.
It isn't that old. That's the thing,
like,
though, because
yeah.
PS3 isn't that long ago, and I was still...
PlayStation 2 was 2002? I want to say, and PS...
The era of the PS3... The era of the PS3 is not long ago.
PS3 was 2006 until 2012, I want to say.
2012 was like yesterday.
And PS4
yeah, probably right.
PS4's had the longest run of them all. It's been 2012 till 2019.
There've been different iterations. There've been different iterations of the PS4 as well.
Just very quickly before I go over some server and YouTube-based stuff, the one thing I want to come back to with the PS5 is it's going to be very, very interesting because Microsoft and Sony are releasing within the same period of time for the first time since they've gone head-to-head. So it's going to be really interesting because then I think at that point it's going to come down to which console is the cheaper of the two for most people running up to Christmas. That's going to be quite an interesting thing to look at because it is releasing for Christmas 2020. I think Microsoft right now might have the edge because they've announced that Halo is going to be a launch title for it.
They're going to, of course, lead with their strong best foot.
But Sony have not mentioned a damn thing about what's coming.
Yeah, but there's going to be plenty.
Having said that, they've only just announced it, so...
They announced the PS5 a fair while ago. Just they didn't say anything about it or when it was coming out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And so, like, if you connect a game to it, then you'd sort of expect, oh, yeah, but if you look at this game, then it's being released at a certain date. And so you'd expect, like, they've waited for the anticipation and stuff like that.
But Ghost of Tsushima will be a PS5 game because that's gone dead.
It's kind of a given.
Yeah, it's gone so quiet that nothing's really been said.
Rockstar Launcher offers $100 of free games and DLC with Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC. That's what I've just seen scrolling through Facebook.
Because they're worried that people might not buy it because everybody starts saying, actually, it's kind of shit.
Yep.
So server-based stuff. So I think I said it in the last podcast that we have a community manager in Discord now. She has been working hard to set up
She's doing very well.
competitions and things. My chat is decided to disconnect, so if anything gets added to it, you'll need to let me know.
No, likewise.
So,
Is it disconnected from
I
us?
assume mine is still working. Oh no, mine's disconnected. Oh no,
I'm
mine's
gonna
back.
refresh.
Mine's fine.
My chat's dead.
so
He said your cat, and I was like, oh my god,
Oh,
that was
our
very
cat.
dramatic.
for a while,
Just casually at the end of the podcast, my cat's dead.
she's had a survey up
Yes.
about different games, free to play, competitive, multiplayer, paid for, whatever games. That's the button I'm looking for. Shit, wrong button. I'm not very good at doing multiple things.
Your screen's gone very dark.
Yeah, it's because I'm doing shit.
Probably shifted.
Oh right, because you're using the screens for light.
Yes.
Yes.
So she has been looking at that and left it up for a while. There's a Discord link in the chat. That's what I was doing. I've just come back into our chat window and just seen the picture, the screen cap I took of Nelly where plants are. Where it's really funny.
Stop.
So
Hey, it's only the four of us that see this.
it's it's not like it's on the internet or anything.
Well,
No,
internet
but
is
that
restricted internet.
That whole
Yeah, you're not
But
public
that whole
internet.
sequence of Nelly with her plants is video. This is one photo, but there's video of Nelly with her plants. Anyway, we're off topic. I'm trying to talk about things. So she had this survey up, and everybody that she kind of just kept going, guys, do this, and then she left it for a week or two. And now we're at the point where Rainbow Six Siege is going to be the thing, and it's going to be happening on what, the 5th of November? She's saying at the moment. So it's a Saturday night that she's looking at. So yeah, we'll be doing that. So she's looking at stuff like that. We've also got a temporary Arc server up for the month because we're testing the waters on that. So if you want to keep using that, go fucking use it, because it's not going to be the same as Minecraft where it got used for two weeks and then everybody stopped using it. She's paying 30 quid a month for this thing, so make it worth it. Go on, play the game. Even if you don't play it very often, if you play it for like an hour a week, doesn't matter. At least there's activity there, and it seems like people are using it. Because she wants to do things with it. She wants to do like tribe wars and things like that. So
I need to update mine.
So, Nelly, you always talk about only playing Overwatch. You now have an opportunity to play something else with other people. So,
I just like Overwatch.
Also, I killed a dodo.
I will.
I killed several dodos, and it was fun.
I'm pretty sure I've brought up in the past, but yeah, lining up dodos and then shooting them in the back of the head.
No.
Wow.
No.
I swear I've mentioned this in
That
stream.
is pretty grim.
I swear I've mentioned
I
this.
think you have, and I think I said
That's
the same
dark
thing.
side.
That is some grim shit from you, Matt.
That wasn't even me who was doing it. That was my mate, and I was just there watching with my wife.
And you just
idly.
let
Oh
it
yeah, no,
happen.
I full on condoned it. I just wasn't there. Like I wasn't
Got
I mean, you
the itchiest
condemned
nose.
it.
Anyway,
condone.
before we disappear as well, there are 2 episodes of stuff up on the YouTube channel for Let's Plays, and I think everybody should go watch them if they haven't, because they're really, really interesting. Basically, me and Chizzy kind of fucked up with some recordings, and mainly me, because I'm the one that's in charge of hitting all the buttons. And some audio didn't get recorded for Judgment,
That's always
so
fun.
game audio didn't appear. But could be bothered playing the game again for that 2 hours, so we decided to just kind of do a pseudo podcasty kind of thing over the top of it. So there's 50 minutes of me and Jizzy just basically chatting shit about anime on that one. So mostly Dragon Ball and stuff. And then there's also Transformers. So I went back to edit the Transformers stuff, and the audio was terrible. It was like lots of gaps where we just weren't saying it. It was just silence, and I just said, nah, I'm not accepting that, not because we've done better. So we're re-recording the audio for Transformers. So Transformers War for Cybertron 3, that is also up, that you should go watch, because they're good. They're just us chatting shit and not actually playing a game, just kind of just talking to each other and talking through it, podcasty type things. They're good, and I don't know. Like, I'm kind of looking for the feedback on it to see whether or not that might be a better solution. Like, I'll just play a game throughout the week and just record the raw gameplay, and then me and Chizzy will just record over it on the Sunday or whatever. We'll see how it balances out. I mean, they are like, one is 50 minutes and one is 45 minutes. They have a bit of length to them. The Transformers is slightly different because I'm doing it chapter by chapter. So I complete a chapter, end the recording, and it gets uploaded. So at least that's not going to be as long a series. It's going to be 12 episodes because there's 12 chapters in the game. That's kind of just what's happening. We're kind of experimenting with some new content. All the thumbnails have now changed, because I updated them all because they were shit before. Also, Bob's Minecraft came out on Sunday.
Yeah, I was going to shout out a little bit about that later. That's before we wrap up.
That's there, but I'll let him do it on his bye-bye.
On his bye-bye.
Yes, I'm gonna predict what is gonna be said by Nelly, which is gonna be no. Nelly, anything to say before we go? Cool. Matt, anything to say before we go?
I was really trying to think of something.
Hopefully things start to pick up when I get the PC. Not sure when I'm gonna get it yet, but when that happens, expect more streams, I guess.
Expect big things.
Expect things.
Bob?
Things should be expected.
Yes.
I really think we covered that topic.
Because I was on holiday, I crammed to make
Hollybobs.
another episode that would release on Sunday. Because I was like, oh, I'm running short of time and I'm about to go on holiday. And my video releases while I'm away, and I'm not recording and editing while I'm on holiday. It's not happening.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So I actually decided to go completely off my usual cylinder building topic and just go wild with it. Just go mental and start doing completely random shit. So there's me fighting about 10 wither bosses all at the same time on the moon. Just me fucking around for a while with complete random shit. I also found what Richard left for me. Literally hundreds of these slimeling things just sitting on top of a jungle tree outside my base.
Aww.
I mean, the tree was there before, but there's just like all these red, yellow, and blue things all in this tree, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm assuming it was Richard left them for me.
That's
I could have
awesome.
assumed wrong, but I don't think anybody else is playing the server, so...
Niet.
Apparently Red
Please,
Dead...
folks, I need to get my views up, so please help me.
Shall we check in with our current competition just before we go?
Yeah.
Interlude.
We may have a jingle. We may have a jingle being made.
We have a jingle?
We might be getting a jingle made.
Oh, good. We can stop cold
Interesting.
opening with me talking about coughing and
Okay.
That is the jingle.
So
Just
the
Nelly's cough.
podcast, most viewed podcast, sitting on 61.
Ooh.
Bob's
Oh, yeah.
first episode of his Minecraft stuff is 55.
Oh, I'm falling behind.
You're
you.
falling behind, but you're way ahead on the likes. So
Yes.
you're
That's what's important. That's what's really important.
9 likes. 9 likes.
Whole 9. I feel special.
Light. What the fuck? Okay, that's just an uploaded one. Yeah, so that's kind of us then. Join Discord. I should probably put something up
Like a link.
on the window. Hang on.
an invite.
Text. Give me text. And then. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Do-do-do.
Select font. Please tell me it's in here. It is. Yes. Where's my text? Ah, there it is.
Where's our jingle?
I don't have a jingle yet.
Yeah, we need it right now.
So I'm
So
in the
we'll make one up.
process- I'm in the process of.
Oh, cute. You're editing on the fly.
Yes. There's a Discord invite for the YouTube watchers. Nobody wants to nitro boost our server, so I'm not gonna speak out our URL right now because it's just gobbledygook. But eventually, hopefully, it'll be discord.gg Misadventure Inc. But right now, it's letters and numbers of some kind of combination.
JK4KY.
Go watch us on YouTube and you'll see it at the end of the video. Peace.
Biddly baddly boo.
Bye, folks.
Bye.
Bye.